Hey, it's JT here. I wanted to post a video on something that has been rising in the news in the past few years. After I left school because of my drinking, it wasn't happening that often until I left. Maybe it was. I wasn't paying attention. But alcohol poisoning in schools. Um, I've noticed countless stories of students getting alcohol poisoning, and it's also a concern for regular alcoholics, regular drinkers, occasionally at home and parties, whatever, um, and that's drinking too much too fast. Your body and your brain can't process the alcohol on the levels of poisons that you're putting into your system, and your body shuts down to preserve itself, but the shutting down leads to death, obviously. Um, Most people don't know what alcohol poisoning is, and the dangers of it. That's why you get all these kids in school um, having too much to drink and winding up in the hospital, winding up uh, vomiting, asphyxiation, causing death. Um, and it's becoming a huge issue that people just don't really want to learn about. And I don't get that because it can happen quick and it can happen without much warning. Um, and people that don't know about it usually are regular drinkers. People I realized in treatment and in meetings, um, my education on this is something a bit beyond what everyday people experience. I learned most people don't even know what the legal driving limit for intoxication is, and it's 0.08. Depending on body weight, it's roughly 4 drinks in 4 hours, I believe. Um, and that's good, good and bad, because there's a lot of DWIs happening, which is good, gets people off the road, but gets them into recovery when they really don't want to be there. So it's a pain in the ass. But the alcohol poisoning, some of the symptoms, um, and I'll get to the kind of the grossest one in your mind first and get it out of the way. Asphyxiation, which is choking on your own vomit. You most often are unconscious, and you might be lying down, sitting, whatever your position, and your body is regurgitating the alcohol that you're putting into it. And if you're not conscious to change your position, swallow, whatever. It builds up in your airways and it goes into your system in the wrong fashion, and you drown. Um, your breathing can slow, become irregular, or stop, um, and that relates to the amount of breaths in a minute. If someone's around you and they're counting 10 seconds or more between each breath, it's time to maybe find some help. And you generally know when someone's breathing too slow. It's not hard to tell. Um, you could experience hypothermia, which is your body cooling down. That's your body shutting down from the alcohol. Hypoglycemia is low blood sugar, which causes seizures. If someone, it's kind of uncommon, but if they've been drinking a lot, and they're seizing, major issue. That's a major sign. And I've been in the situation where I've gone into an alcohol binge. After I was sober, I relapsed. Then I kept going the next day, the next few days, and my disease tells me to just keep drinking until I can't anymore. And when that happens, I go for a few days straight with drinking, not much eating, not much consumption of anything positive. Um, I stop going to the bathroom. My whole body kind of shuts down for a few days until my brain is satisfied after drinking. And at the end of that, the dehydration that you experience, you can, if you dehydration, if it's severe enough, can lead to brain damage, lead you to have a seizure, lead you to death. It's more uncomfortable than anything else. I remember after a binge of like 3 days of just whiskey, um, I would have to just guzzle Gatorade, and eventually, the shaking would stop, and there was some amount of shock to the system because you deprived it of water and food for X amount of days, it doesn't like that. So it told me that I really screwed myself again. And so dehydration was huge. It's mostly uncomfortable, but it can be life-threatening. So that's alcohol poisoning for you. That's .08 is the legal driving limit, if you don't know. Even for regular people, it's nice to know if you go to a party and you have too much to drink. You tend to know if you're too belligerent to drink and drive. I always knew when I was drinking and driving. I didn't care. Um, After a while, you think you get used to it and you actually drive a little better, but it's not true. That's just what my addict mind tells me. So there's alcohol poisoning for you. I hope it helped to inform some people that maybe have had it, maybe have not, and to be aware of it. So be healthy.